All right. Well, that's good. First of all. Second of all, I've got people that are saying, I can't make a meeting tonight. I really wish I could. So is it being recorded somewhere? So I'll see if I can record it for you. And then it's going to go live onto our Facebook group. Now, with that said, please don't sit at home and watch these meetings from some Facebook, live, because it's a good thing. I think it's good. I'm spending money, to put this thing together for us. But the real value in this group is coming to the meetings and talking back and forth and learning from people's, their experiences, and the wholesalers with their deals, and the buyers with their buys, and the money with their money. You got your whole team in here. By the way, ask me, I've got an appraiser for you later on. Don't forget, because you asked about it, and I know somebody that's probably going to see out. So come to the meetings, and let's make free as good as we can. And it looks like there's a lot of interest in tonight. I'm real happy to see the room filling up. I think we got maybe 4 seats empty. So looks like the pandemic, we're starting, everybody getting a little braver. We're all coming out of the house, right? Okay, let me see what else I got on my note here. Coming in the 21st century, don't sit at home, come to the meetings. However, if you've got something going on, you can access us. We're going to try and do that. All right, so tonight, we're going to talk about foreclosures, pre-foreclosure, and then bankruptcy. We've got Bennie coming to talk with us. He's got 33 years experience in the real estate world. I've got a few more notes here. He's with ERA Real Estate, but you know what? It took us long enough to get to this point. I don't want to take up too much time. Bennie, come on up. Tell us what you got. The one thing as he's walking up, the banks. Now, I'm not the expert here, so where's my lenders? The banks were not allowed to foreclose for the last 2 years. So anybody that's not paying for the last 2 years. 2 years ago, I had one of my tenants call me up and say, "Hey, Stu, I know I don't have to pay you, but here's my rent." I'm like, okay, that's not really what the president said, but thank you for that. So the people that weren't paying are now looking at this huge bill, staring them right in the face, and some of them don't know what to do. And when you got that big bill staring you right in the face, you got a problem. And we are here to solve that problem if we can. Now, I don't think we're going to have a 2008 crisis because the market has gone up. Bennie will tell us all about that. So, Bennie, thank you very much. One, thanks for coming, and thanks for what you're getting ready to say.
Appreciate you. Thank you. First thing I want to ask, how much time do I have?
You got about an hour.
About an hour.
Until people start leaving.
Okay.
That's what usually happens.
Okay. Can I set this right here? Yes, you can, sir. Good evening, everyone. My name is Bennie Miller. As Stu said, I've been in the real estate business for 33 long years, and I enjoy everything that I do. And I'm here to talk to you tonight in reference to pre-foreclosures and bankruptcies. First question I want to ask, get it out the way on the front end, do we have any attorneys in here? You attorney. Okay, so if I say anything that not too good, it's not at you personally, okay? All right. I got to put that out first. Number two. Yeah, okay. I'm with you. Number two, I am not an attorney, okay? But a lot of the language that I'm going to put out is in reference to foreclosures. You're dealing with a lot of legal legalities, a lot, okay? And the reason I learned this information very well because when I was in the military, I worked in research and development. I worked with a lot of government regulations. I was in aviation. I worked on the Longbow Apache program at McDonnell Douglas in Arizona, even though I was stationed here. So when I got out the military, it clicked in my mind that when we talk about foreclosures, VA, FHA, conventionals, loans that are government loans, there's got to be a regulation somewhere. Only thing I have done was found the regulation, read the regulation, and interpret the regulation. That's all I have ever done. And over the years, 20 plus years, you get better, and better at it. So and that's what brought me to this point where I'm at today with loss mitigation. Okay. So saying that, and as Stu has just said, I'm gonna cut this. Foreclosures and bankruptcy filings are increasing daily. They are going up, and up. There's a lot of disruption in the real estate world right now as we speak. Right here in Newport News, we are different from no one else in reference to Airbnb, fixing flips, fixing properties without permits. If you've been watching the news, it's been on the news. So it's a lot of disruption, but I'm going to focus on foreclosures and bankruptcy is what I'm going to focus on. Most homeowners do not have an understanding of their financial situation. That's why they're in the situation that they're in, because it's a distressful situation, but they don't understand their financial situation as a whole. In most cases, or in some cases, they have purchased too much real estate. Now, with the economy the way it is, may have lost their job, downsized, whatever, can't make the mortgage payment. Just as Stu said, under the pandemic, homeowners was not making their mortgage payments for over 2+ years. Now, the mortgage payments are due, and the homeowner don't know what to do. So you, as the investor, the real estate agent in the room, how can you help them? This whole class should be about helping someone in a distressed situation first, okay? They do not have an understanding of the pre-foreclosure process. A lot of people don't understand the process. As I said, it's based on regulations. If you don't understand the regulation, your chances of really, truly understanding how to help someone is really not that great. I'm gonna give you a real example. I look in the MLS every day. I see short sales that have expired. And I said, why have a short sale expired? It can only be two reasons. The homeowner is not cooperative, or the agent didn't know how to do the short sale. So if you don't know how to do the short sale, if you don't know how to talk to the homeowner, pass it on to somebody that can help them. You got to pass it on to somebody that knows what they're doing in this situation. Not facing reality of their hardship. It's a true hardship, and they definitely do not understand the bankruptcy process. Just because a homeowner runs to file bankruptcy doesn't mean that it's going to save their house. Most attorneys not going to tell a homeowner that. They're not focusing on the need. They're focusing on the business side of it. And if they focus on the business side, most people, whatever comes out the attorney's mouth, they believe it. That is not true. Not.
Yes, it is.
Not. It is not true. It is not true.
I understand. Yeah.
But The homeowner believes it. And when I sit down and counsel the homeowner and whatever the attorney told them, I asked the homeowner one question. The attorney told you to do such and such and such. The attorney has keys to lay his head down every night. Where are you going to lay your head? Well, he didn't tell me that. He didn't tell me what to do about that. Well, how is the attorney helping you? In most cases, those houses will go into foreclosure. That's the reality of it. Okay. Husband, wife, and heirs are not in agreement. If you're going to do a short sale, if you're going to help somebody save their home from a foreclosure, they have to be in agreement. If they're not in agreement, it's not a whole lot of you can do to help them. Okay. Next slide, please. How are you going to find the homeowner or the heirs? And you see some of the things up there that I have: skip tracings, letter in the mail, knock on the homeowner's door, radio advertising, television commercials, word of mouth, attorneys, websites, and classified newspapers. Those are just some of the ways you can find these homeowners. But I can tell you, out of all of that up there, do you think the homeowner is going to contact you? Absolutely no. They are not going to contact you. It's like they put their head in the sand and think this problem is just going to go away. So it's maybe two things up here that will really work. It's two things up here that will really work for you to really make contact with a homeowner. The first one is go and knock directly on their door. Knock, knock, knock. I am here to help you with your situation. That's number one. Number two, word of mouth. Word of mouth. A lot of people know what I do in the Hampton Roads area. So that creates activity for me to help homeowners. I like to give true examples. About approximately 3 weeks ago, I received a phone call from a homeowner losing a home in a reverse mortgage. The property is located in Borkings, Virginia. I don't even know where Borkings, Virginia is located. First of all, I never met the homeowner. If they walk in that door right now, I wouldn't even know who they are. Can I help them? The answer is yes, I can help them with the short sale. I can put the property up for sale, and I can sell it to a family member. In accordance with the guidelines in reference to short sales, it must be an arm's length transaction. But with a reverse mortgage, a family member can purchase the property. So you have people, family members, walking away from these reverse mortgages, family members, because they don't know the process. Right over here in Wynwood Towers, going across the James River Bridge, I'm working on a short sale, been working on a short sale over there for approximately a year and a half. We're getting ready to close now on the property. Everybody in the United States is calling about buying that property. They want to know why it's taking so long for me to finish the transaction out. Because under the COVID, that stopped or ceased all foreclosure proceedings. Once it started back up, the mortgage company wanted to rush to do the foreclosure. Absolutely wrong. Because under the guidelines, the homeowner or the executor or executrix of the property has up to 15 months to make a decision what they're going to do with the property. How many people know that? How many realtors in here know that? And they just walk away. Okay? Next slide, please. You must be able to offer genuine help It's got to be genuine help. Must understand their hardship and needs. Time is of the essence. The reason I put time of the essence up here, because most of the time when I'm in contact with a homeowner, it's 30 days or less before the foreclosure happens. They don't call me when they first in trouble or facing a distressed situation. They call 30 days or less on average. So, what do I have to do? Got to catch the payments up? You think that's really going to happen if you don't have the money for the investors in the room? They 2 years in the rearage, $25,000 in the rearage. You going to catch the payments up in 30 days or less? Most time that's not going to happen. In most situations, it's not going to happen. Okay, but we're going to talk about it in a little bit. Can you, the investor, provide the resources? You got to know what you're talking about when you do meet these homeowners, because whatever you say to them, they're going to hold you to it. Now, investors, we done our figuring, our numbers, our ratios. We see it's a great deal. We can help the homeowner. We go in there making promises that may not happen legally. If it's a property that does not have to go through the short sale process, it can happen. But if you're going through a short sale process, whatever you told the homeowner, you're going to give them $10,000 and let them walk out the door, it's not going to happen. Because the homeowner got to show his assets. You just told them you're going to give them $10,000. You can't do that on a short sale. So don't make promises that you know that you cannot live up to. And especially when it comes down to money, these homeowners will bombard you. When am I going to get the money? They call in the mortgage company. When am I going to get the money? So I don't make promises that I cannot back up with regulations. Very important. Best help you can provide to the homeowners is at the beginning of the process. If you can get them, I say within 120 days, things can go a lot smoother. But if you go past that 120 days, it can get real rocky fast in the state of Virginia. I'm going to tell you the reason why in a minute. I just said don't make promises you can't deliver. Must show fairness, but you got to be aggressive to help the homeowner. What I mean by that, we are working against time of the essence. If you know you need to do a title search on the property, don't put it off saying I'm going to get to it next week. You got to go get it done tomorrow. The reason why, you are not the only person trying to help the homeowner. It's other people out there trying to help the homeowner too. So if you're not aggressive enough with your due diligence, you may lose out. That last one I can't see. Wait a minute. Oh, yeah. Okay, I see. Okay, foreclosure attorneys can be very expensive. Sometimes the homeowner like to run to these attorneys saying that they can help them. They send in information in the mail throughout, I'll say, Virginia to them. Okay? Now, they 30 days from a foreclosure. Attorney is saying, hey, I can help you. How much you owe on your house? $250,000. Well, for me to help you, that'll be 3 times or 3% of what your house is worth, and I can help you. I need 50% of it right now as a down payment. Is that really going to happen? She even said it.
If you have that money, pay your mortgage.
No, it's not going to happen. In most cases, it's not going to happen. Once that property hits the newspaper or periodical, you got everybody in the world bombarding them, stating that they can help them. You got to get to them before it gets to that periodical. The faster you can get to the homeowner, the better chances you have to help them if they will listen and be cooperative. They got to be cooperative. If they're not cooperative, there's nothing you can do. But I got a way to get to homeowners. I got a way to talk to people. You know, I can wear different hats. Whatever they're going through, I can talk to them. Okay, you got to be a good negotiator. You got to know how to negotiate with the homeowner, with the mortgage company, and with the attorneys. You got to be able to negotiate. If you're afraid to talk to attorneys, don't get involved with what I do. Don't get involved, because you will be talking to them. And we all know the old saying is with attorneys. What is that saying, y'all? They think they walk on water. They think they walk on water. They don't walk on water. Several years ago, I was on a panel talking about foreclosures, and I was on a panel with attorneys, and I was kind of quiet. I said, man, these guys don't know what they're talking about. And I started ad-libbing, talking, yada, 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 going over whatever. And one attorney called me after the presentation, invited me to his office. And you know what he told me? He said, I don't know that like you know it. He told me, he said, I'm ashamed to tell you, I don't know this information. I said, well, why you have people coming in your office? He said, that's why I want you to partner with you so I can learn this when I have clients in these situations. I mean, we just went out to lunch a couple of weeks ago. I'm not going to tell you who he is, but he said, man, I don't know it. And he was the only attorney that had never done that. But he was bold enough to say it. Okay, moving on. Next slide. Okay, postponing the foreclosure. Okay, a lot of times, when we see a homeowner in a distressed situation, I said most of the time they're going to contact, I'm going to use me, they're going to contact me 30 days or less from the foreclosure. That's valid. That's true. I have a 90% chance of stopping or postponing that foreclosure. I got a 90% chance because of the guidelines. Okay, I'm gonna go with this. Purchase the property, cash alone, short sale. If you are focusing on wholesaling, you cannot do short sales. Won't work for you if you wholesaling. When you write, and I'm just asking because I don't do wholesaling. When you write your contract, you put John Doe LLC and or assigned. Am I correct? Yes, sir. Okay, that's not going to work in a short sale. Short sale, that property has to be bought. It can be bought in a LLC or a company, but you can't assign the contract. They're not going to let you assign the contract. Okay. So wholesaling is out. Now I say that, and tomorrow some mortgage company might take it. Okay. But what I know right now, you can't wholesale a short sale contract. Okay, real estate settlement procedures, RESPA. I'm going to talk about that, the Virginia state guidelines, deed of trust, and the reverse mortgage. Okay, I'm going to talk about that. This is where the meat going to come in at, right here, y'all. Okay? I'm sorry. This is the newspaper. I really don't get involved in this a lot, but I like to look and see what's in here sometimes. This is the daily press, the classified section. They posted in here, people are going into foreclosure. Okay? Right now, I already know over 75% of these houses that are going into foreclosure are voidable. I already know it. I can look voidable. The foreclosure can be stopped. Okay, let me tell you the reason why. In the state of Virginia, in the deed of trust, the language will say how many times it's supposed to be advertised in the newspaper. You holding up to what? Twice. You said 3. What you say? 3. 3. You are all wrong. In accordance with the Virginia state guidelines, all foreclosures supposed to be advertised 4 consecutive times. Weekly. 4 times. Most attorneys don't do it. They do it 2 times, maybe 3. I think in the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I've seen one in there 4 times. Now, that can be challenged. That can be challenged right there. You can stop it just like that. Now, I said that's in accordance with the Virginia state guidelines. But what does the deed of trust say? Most of the time, the deed of trust is not going to say how many times it's supposed to be advertised. Now, when you sit down and talk to the homeowner, you should ask for the deed of trust. I can tell you now, most of them not going to have it. They don't even know what you're talking about. Okay?
It's at the county.
Huh?
It's at the county.
Oh, you can go to the county and get it. That's a good one. You can go down there and get it and look at it. But most homeowners, they don't know what you're talking about. So, right there, RESPA, that's another big one. Say that a homeowner is losing their house and they want to fill out a loan modification package or a short sale package. Let's say short sale package. In accordance with the RESPA guidelines, if that homeowner send that RESPA or send that short sale package to the mortgage company, within 37 days, the mortgage company has to accept it and they have to review it. And if the mortgage company said, we're not going to review it because you 37 days or less from a foreclosure, that's a violation in accordance with RESPA. And we all know we got mortgages. You got a letter in the mail saying XYZ mortgage company has just transferred your loan to another mortgage company. If you don't get something in writing in the mail, that's a RESPA violation. That's in the regulation. That's how, when I talk to the homeowner, I'm already sizing up how I'm going to stop the foreclosure if I have to.
You're still what lawyers do. Find a loophole. You're just a lawyer.
Did I tell you I'm not a lawyer, but I know the law. Okay. Or we just said in reverse mortgage. This is real. What I'm going to tell you. This happened in the month of April. Hope I got it. I know I got it. Yes, right here. This happened in the month of April. Okay, this is real. On a Friday, I received a phone call approximately 5 p.m. The property was listed. It was a reverse mortgage in Virginia Beach. And she's saying, we want to keep the property. It's my grandmother's house, you know, et cetera, et cetera. The mortgage company is giving us a hard time. We have a sales contract on the property. They had an agent. I said, well, what the agent doing? The agent don't know what to do. I said, okay, let me talk to the agent. The agent said, well, go ahead and talk to him, try to help him, which I did. I said, ma'am, this is one thing I want you to do. This is Friday evening, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I want you to call HUD, 1-800-225-5342. I want you to file a complaint with HUD. HUD is in Oklahoma City. They are 1 hour behind us. So it's 4 p.m. there. I say, I want you to get a control number. I want you to get a case number. File a complaint saying that they didn't send you the information saying your grandmother's house was going into foreclosure. Make something up. She did what I told her to do. Got me a case number. So Monday morning, I said, ma'am, I'm busy. I don't have time to come down to Virginia Beach, but you're going to have to do what I tell you to do over the phone. This is what I told her what to do over the phone. I'm going to go over it right quick. I said, you got to write this letter. And we got to get it to the mortgage company because the house going into foreclosure Tuesday. She called me Friday, property going into foreclosure Tuesday. This is what she said in the letter. I'm going to read it real quick. She's saying she's the executrix of the property. She held concerns with the foreclosure sale dated April the 26th. Below outlines such concerns as well as requested items in conjunction with the scheduled foreclosure. I'm going to give her a B for this. She did it. This lady don't have no real estate knowledge experience. She didn't put everything down word for word like I told her, but she did a good job, okay? A formal complaint has been filed with the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Department. I got the case number. Please inform if an internal FHA appraisal has been completed on the property prior to foreclosing. Please note, I have not received a formal condolence letter to outline my 6 months rights in the reverse mortgage process to pay the debt back. I'm also requesting a copy of the real estate note as well as the recorded deed of trust. I have now received an updated statement to include the following: updated amount is due, interest, late fees, collection fees, active lien balance. Please provide a copy of all amounts due at the time of the foreclosure. Please provide a copy of the updated title report that's dated within 30 days of the foreclosure. That's the guidelines. Please note, this is an illegal foreclosure sale of the property and based on the prior listed demanding of all proceedings be stopped immediately. I like to save my grandmother's house and sell it on a reverse mortgage short sale. She sent that to the mortgage company Monday morning. 1 second. Tuesday, foreclosure was stopped just off of this letter right here. This letter right here contains that information in reference to the Virginia state guidelines. That's what you have to do. Because it was going into foreclosure. And I called and got an update today. Now they got new updated figures that the buyer has to bring more money to closing. But nevertheless, the foreclosure stopped. Okay, yes, ma'am.
So spouse would be able to do that if they left,
If
but what other family members, does it have to be like the executor of the estate or?
you got to be an executrix of the estate, or if there's a spouse, a spouse can do it too.
So it's just basically the executor or the spouse?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not just any family.
No. And while we right here, well, I'll talk to it. Next slide.
Can't see that bottom one.
Yeah, I know. Must conduct an assessment.
Everybody alive.
What's the bottom of the state? Are all parties entitled to title is still complaining. All parties are entitled to. Oh, okay.
Okay. Must conduct an assessment of the problem. You got to do an assessment of the problem. You got to ask the homeowner questions. When you ask the homeowner questions, that's let me know if the homeowner is going to be cooperative with me and how much knowledge do they have for me to support to help them. Okay. How many months are you behind on your mortgage? I need to know something. You 2 years behind, 3 years, 4 years? I don't know. Do you know? What type of loan do you have? That's going to tell me how to drive this process based on the loan that they have. If it's an FHA loan, I know how to drive the transaction. If it's a VA loan, I know how to drive the transaction. If it's a governmental conventional loan, I know how to drive the transaction. If it's a non-governmental loan, how would you find out about that? How would you know if it's a non-governmental loan when you're standing in front of the person's house, a door?
Paperwork.
Paperwork. Huh? Okay, they don't have the note. They don't know about no note. Huh? Hopefully you can look at their mortgage statement, because on government loans, some government loans, I'm not going to say all, they are paying MIP or PMI on the loan. If it's PMI, That's a non-governmental loan. Am I correct? If it's MIP, that's a government loan. If it's a government loan, they got to follow government guidelines. If it's PMI, they make up their own guidelines. They follow some guidelines, but they don't have to follow the government guidelines. Okay? You got to know that. The difference between the MIP and the PMI. Okay? On the FHA loan. And then some FHA loans don't have neither. Okay? Have you filed for bankruptcy? If you file for bankruptcy, is it active or has it been discharged? If they're in an active bankruptcy, what can you do to help them? Not a whole lot of nothing. Okay? Have they received any letters from the mortgage company or the trustee? The trustee is the attorney. If they're receiving letters from the attorney, I already know we pass in 120 days. Okay, we really, it's really, things been to really ramp up real fast if they're getting these certified letters from the attorney. So that means that it has moved from the loss mitigation department, the mortgage company, over to the attorney side.
So 120 days before they get foreclosed on?
Well, it's 120 days before they start the foreclosure proceedings. Okay, that's, you can still stop it. You can stop it in a day. Okay, but just that I know what I'm working with. Okay, how I got to speed up the process. Are there any liens on the property? Most of them don't know if there's liens on the property. This is a big one. Every house that I have known to go into foreclosure, all these HOA dues are in the rearage. They are all in the rearage. I'm not talking about $500. I'm talking about thousands. Okay? Are all parties on title living? If you have someone has deceased, and you know we've been under COVID, do they have a death certificate? Yeah, there's a will. Has it been to probate? Do they have a specific power of attorney? You got to know that. If you don't, and we down to 30 days from a foreclosure, what are you going to do? How are you going to help the homeowner in this process? See, a lot of people are running trying to say, well, I'm going to help you sell the house, but we got all this other stuff that's in the background that we got to take care of. So basically, you work in two different angles at the same time. Second and third mortgages. Oh, I forgot that. Okay, thanks. Okay, do they have a second or third mortgage? Don't be surprised. Some of these homeowners have third mortgages out there. Yeah, you got to know that. Okay, now did I say you have to be a good negotiator? You got to be a good negotiator. Now, a lot of times, second and third mortgage, they like to play hardball. Oh boy, they like to play hard. They like to play hard. But you know what? The bottom line, if you don't play, you don't get nothing. HOAs, if we don't play, you don't get nothing. So we got to play. We got to work together. I'm trying to help you. Okay? So work with me. Okay, the short sale process. This is really big. Yes, ma'am.
One more question that probably should be on there today in our environment is, have you had a forbearance? Because collection procedures and forbearance can sometimes be parallel, and they might have options under their forbearance.
Well, yeah.
So, I mean, when you're doing an assessment, you would need to know that if you're gonna help them. Right?
Well, if they're in a forbearance, if I'm trying to help them, and if they're in the newspaper and they're losing a house, they behind.
Right. Well, they would be, but if they were subject to a forbearance and they got to the end of it and it didn't, I mean, there's still things that can be done through forbearance other than foreclosure, but they, the collection department or what loss mitigation is on their path, and forbearance is not necessarily the same route. It's just a question to ask.
Well, I'm not saying you wrong, but then too, if you throw a lot at these homeowners, they get very confused.
I don't disagree with that.
They get very confused. They just throw their hands up and walk away and just say, forget it. I'm not going to go through this process. you know. But if you're doing a forbearance agreement, there's no collection. There shouldn't be any collections
There shouldn't be.
at that time. And if it is, it's more than likely it's illegal. Okay. But
Just say it with an assessment.
yeah. Okay, I agree with you.
Right.
Okay. On the short sale process, in the state of Virginia, this is a non-judicial state. Anybody know what that means? Don't go in front of the judge to get approved for the foreclosure. The mortgage company is telling the government that we have done all the checks and balances to move forward to do the foreclosure, and somebody in the state of Virginia signed off on that. So that process is going to move. That train is moving. On average, 6 months, the house will be in foreclosure on average in the state of Virginia. Okay. There's no redemption period. Once the house is foreclosed on, the homeowner can't come back 2 months, 6 months, 1 year later saying, I got all the money to make the back payments and I want to be able to redeem my property back. They can't do that in the state of Virginia. There's no redemption period. Some states there is redemption status for a homeowner. Number 3, I got to have a letter of authorization to speak to the seller's mortgage company. You just can't talk to them to talk to them. And then sometimes they give you a hard time in reference they wanted to be on their letterhead. It's going to take 7 working days before I be able to get it on their system before I can talk to them. I'm less than 30 days from a foreclosure. Okay? So I'm not waiting for 7 days. There's other things I can be doing. Okay? Homeowner must provide documentations in a short sale. We all know that. Bank statements, tax returns, verification of the hardship, and more based on the federal guidelines. Okay? The transaction must be an arm's length transaction. Okay? Now, short sale process, the next slide, in reference to FHA, VA, conventional loans, and reverse mortgages. Now, this is where it's really going to kind of make a decision with you trying to help the homeowner if you can purchase the property. This is where it's really coming down to, okay? Based on your numbers, is this going to work out for you? Are you trying to buy for a fix and flip? Are you trying to buy for a rental? What are you trying to do? Your first goal is to help the homeowner. You then helping him, you can say, well, hey, I can buy. Well, what are you going to do? You got to know this. FHA loans can get a 6-month approval to participate in the short sale program. But we 30 days from a foreclosure, so that's out the window. That's gone. Okay? But if you get them on the front end, you can get that approved because they fill out an application, send it to the mortgage company, and the mortgage company, more than likely, and of course with the guidelines, going to approve it. You get 4 months up front, and you can get a 2-month extension. Now, this is the number 2. FHA minimum net proceeds are 88%, 86%, 84% of the fair market value appraisal. So what am I saying there? That fair market value is based on the FHA appraisal. Right. So what you think the house is worth doesn't matter. It's what the FHA appraisal say it's worth. He might did a drive-by. He might went in the house. I don't know. You might be looking at a $400,000 house. He says it's worth $250,000. Yeah, that's what I say too. But based on that fair market value, the first 30 days, FHA has to net 88% of that fair market value the first 30 days. The next 60 days, they have to net 86% of their fair market value, and 90 days and beyond, 84%. So right there, you got some equity built up going in. What do you guys say?
My thing, because I'm looking like, so what if you owe, it's $200,000 house, and you owe, what, 100?
It's not a short sale then.
Got it.
You don't need to do a short sale in that situation. In reference to the negative balance, FHA homeowners do not have to repay the negative debt back. Don't put that out verbally. Government can snap a finger and change a regulation in a minute. So you let them put it in writing before you say it. Because FHA change regulations like daily. I mean, you can read something today and it'll be changed tomorrow. FHA will provide relocation funds to the homeowner. So, saying that, you had made promises on the front end that you're going to help them with relocation assistance. Why would you do that? Well, if FHA is going to do it, why are you trying to do it? You see what I'm saying? So don't be so eager to start spitting out things until you really know what you're doing. That's what I'm really getting at, because these homeowners are going to come back and hold you to what you said.
And that's all FHA, all foreclosures.
Yeah, they're going. That's in the regulation. They're going to pay a relocation allowance to the homeowner.
Do you know how much that is?
It all depends. It's a case-by-case situation.
Okay.
Short sales must be sold at above fair market value. Okay, this is a true story. True story. True story. Doing a VA short sale right now. When the homeowner called me, he had filed a Chapter 7. Chapter 7 was discharged from bankruptcy. He thought that they was going to take the house back. I said, no, sir, they don't take no house back. So when I got the house, or the listing, I should say, the property already had a VA appraisal done on the property. The problem was it was a drive-by appraisal, no interior. So the house was rotted out underneath because it flooded. So the appraiser didn't know that. So they got the value up here. I say, so I called VA in Roanoke. I said, the house not going to sell. You're not going to get that for that house. Well, we're not going to change the appraisal. I said, okay, there's no use arguing with you. Okay. So I told the homeowner, this is what I told her. I said, listen here, we're going to have to let that appraisal expire. Now, but we facing two things. We're going to let the appraisal expire, and hopefully they don't foreclose on the house. At the same time, guess what? They haven't foreclosed on the house, got a contract on the house, appraisal expired. Guess what I did after the appraisal expired? Sent them a new sales contract. What they had to do. What do they have to do? They have to send out an appraisal. So what did I do? I met the appraiser at the house. He said, man, the house look good. I said, yeah, but let's go outside and look underneath. And I had the report from a termite moisture, $20,000+ worth of damage. He looked at it, he said, yeah, man, this thing all messed up. I said, yeah. So bottom line, VA approved the investor's contract to buy the house at a significantly reduced sales price. So you got to know how to maneuver this thing. Veterans will not get their full entitlements back until the debt is paid back to the VA. But at the same time, they may have a partial VA. When you use your VA entitlements, doesn't mean you use the full entitlements for the VA loan. So you might have a partial. Okay, I don't think I got this on here, but I'm going to say this right now in reference to VA. Okay, right here in the Hampton Roads area, I'm pretty sure it's everywhere. Active duty veterans are getting in trouble with these mortgages. They don't even realize they're getting in trouble. I'll tell you the reason why. A lot of these homeowners associations, they putting a cap on how many renters you can have in these communities. Now, you just bought a house with a VA loan. You're going to relocate in 2, 3, 5 years. You can't rent your house out because they got a cap on how many renters they're going to have in that community. You don't have enough equity to sell the property. Now, you really ain't got yourself in trouble because you got a secret clearance. You file bankruptcy or let the house go in foreclosure, you lose your clearance. You mess your career up over a house. But now, saying that, there's always exceptions to the rule. Okay? There's always exceptions to the rule. But it's something that has to be. That's why I tell these veterans, you buying in this association, you got, if they change those rules in that association on how many properties can be rented, you can get stuck. And if you can't sell your property. Yes, sir.
You had mentioned on the 6 months approved for participation in a short sale.
Yeah.
But we're not there in this example because you're 30 days out.
Yeah.
The one in April where they stopped the foreclosure the day before the foreclosure.
Yeah.
If the bank gets their shit together and says, hey, we've sent the letters, we've done all this, all that.
Yeah.
Is it foreclosing the next day, or do they have to start the whole process over again and do it the right way?
They got to start that process over. Because you know what I do when I talk to the attorney? You know what I do? Hey, Attorney John Doe, you foreclose on that house in accordance with the regulation guidelines, mortgage letter 00-05. You are just beginning ready to get yourself in a lawsuit. Have a nice day.
That's what I was wondering, if they're a day away and you can stop it and then get them to the short sale process.
Yeah. I say, have a nice day, John. And then one guy said, hey, Mr. Miller, I want to ask you a question. This was a house in Florida. I want to ask you a question. Are you an attorney? No, I'm not no attorney. He slammed the phone on me. I asked my friend, I said, why you slam the phone on me? Because you got the best of him. You know, he didn't like that. I don't like to be challenged. Yeah, because I know the regulation. Okay, next slide. Government conventional loans usually follow FHA guidelines. Non-government loans have their own guidelines. The probate process can slow your sale or short sale down if you're not already approved by the courts. If someone's 30 days from a foreclosure, you like to use that a lot, and they haven't been to probate court because they didn't know they had to go to probate court, it might be a long wait. It might be a long wait unless you know somebody to maneuver at the courts to get you in there quickly. Now, even if it got to go through the probate process and we 30 days from a foreclosure and I'm doing all my due diligence behind the scene, you think I'm going to tell the mortgage company we got to go to probate? No. We'll send the contract to them and let them stop it. Because what she just said, we got to start the process all over. If they get tired of waiting, then I may have some other maneuverability or tricks that I can throw. I don't throw everything at the mortgage company all at one time. Sometimes I may hold one or two things back just in case if I need to use it. Okay. Loss mitigation assistance is for owner-occupied homeowners. So investors, it's not for them under the governmental guidelines. But there's always exception to the rules. Okay? They don't want these houses. The government don't want these properties. So you can always ask. If you don't ask, you don't get. You got to ask. Okay? The bankruptcy process. Chapter 7 is a fresh start program. You got homeowners going to be running to file bankruptcy. I got a database. I look at it weekly. I know who's filing bankruptcy every day or every week. Now I don't disclose none of their personal information. That's not what this is about. Okay. I look at the data. But what I'm getting at when I look at the data in reference to chapter 13, everybody in there want to retain their home. But if you can't pay your mortgage or pay your bills, how are you going to retain your home? Just because you file bankruptcy don't mean you're going to keep the home.
You could be able to pay your mortgage starting at a certain point.
So you really got to think this process through. Okay, like I said, Chapter 7 is a Fresh Start program. The homeowner has no valuable assets. He has to qualify to participate in the Chapter 7 program. Chapter 13 is a wage earner plan. All debt that's in the rearage is put in a payment plan. This plan will help the homeowner avoid foreclosure. But the question is, will it help them avoid the foreclosure long term, or just going to be a temporary fix? So what I'm saying, if you are trying to help someone and they go file bankruptcy on you, don't be so eager to just walk away from them. Because 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, they may come back right back around and say, hey, I messed up the bankruptcy. Okay? And they're going to come right back to you, hopefully, and you'll be able to help them. Okay? I'm going to give you an example in a minute. 341 hearing. A 341 hearing is a meeting with the trustees and the creditors. Most creditors not going to show up for the hearing. They're not going to come. So the homeowner saying, I'm off the hook. I get to keep my house. I get to keep my assets. No, that's not how it works. Okay? That was just a hearing. Okay? Because if you're under a Chapter 13 and you miss one payment, the mortgage company, I'm talking about the mortgage, can put in for a relief of stay. Am I correct? What is a relief of stay? That's to remove you out of the bankruptcy and give the mortgage company the right to foreclose on the property. You don't.
All that does is everything that was before you filed, it says, well, hold on all your old stuff. We'll put that in a payment plan. But as of now, you have to still pay monthly on everything you owe, plus towards your payment plan on all the old stuff.
So what she's saying, what you got in the rearage, say you got $20,000 worth of mortgage payments in the rearage. We're just going to stick with mortgage. You got to pay that on the plan. Plus you got to start making your monthly mortgage payment. So, well, if you don't have the money before you file bankruptcy, where you think you're going to get it at? Because it's just triple or double. But most attorneys not going to tell them not to file bankruptcy. They don't really make a lot of money. They don't make no money.
Well, I bought 5 homes for a flip from the courthouse steps, and the people declared bankruptcy, and I lost it. I had to get my money back from the dumb lawyer. I lost each of those houses.
Because they wouldn't file bankruptcy at the 11th hour. Yeah.
Just before.
Yeah.
And then those same houses came up a year later and went to the dumb big flipping company around here.
Yeah.
It was too high for me
Yeah.
bid on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because the lawyer got all this money.
Yeah.
And it all rolled back in there.
Yeah.
And so the same houses came up, but I couldn't get it.
Credit report is damaged with missed mortgage payments and bankruptcy filings. The credit is damaged. So I try to tell homeowners, let's think this whole process through. The more you pile on that credit report, the longer and the harder it's going to take to get it cleaned up. So let's see what we can do without adding this bankruptcy on the credit report. Just because you lost your house doesn't mean that you can't buy a house. I think, according to the rules on the FHA, I think if you file bankruptcy, you got your credit straight, you haven't missed no more payments going forward. I think 1 year, you back in the game. I just sold a house this year. Lady was in a Chapter 13, gave me the EBGBs, and the court approved it for her to buy the house. I didn't know that. I would say, man, if this don't work out, man, the seller gonna kill me. But it worked out. This is a true story I'm gonna tell you. This is where, when you talk to the homeowners, you do your numbers. I got a person that I know, I told him over 2 years ago, you're not gonna be able to keep this house because of your age, You're unemployed. Bankruptcy is not going to help you. He went down there and filed bankruptcy. Less than 6 months later, he called me. Hey, attorney said, I got to sell the house. I said, whoop-de-doo, you got to sell the house. I told you not to go down there and do that. We could have sold it on the open market. Whatever money you made after you paid the creditors, you would have been free and clear. But guess what happened? They dictated to him what he had to sell the house for and pay the creditors off. So thank God he called me. He said, well, I said, well, what you want to do with the house? Well, you can go ahead and write the contract on and keep it. I don't care. House had over $100,000+ worth of equity in it. I closed on it last month. House worth $225, $235. I bought it for $97,000. Do these kind of things fall in your lap every day? No. But they out there. I know one right now in a high-end neighborhood. It got a lot of equity in it. But the problem is trying to find these homeowners. I don't know if the homeowner has deceased or what. I have done everything. I got 2 of them. I've done everything to find them. Can't find them. House got a lot of equity. And they're just sitting with foreclosure dates on both of them. So you got to be very patient. It's not that you're trying to rob or steal something. I knocked on a door this week. House just sitting. I said, hey, I can help you with this situation. I don't know what's going on, but she said, well, I'll give them your information. They'll call you. They haven't called me yet, you know. So that's really, it's out there, okay? Okay, I got a little exercise. The next slide. This is a FHA foreclosure exercise. I don't know what your numbers are. I don't know what you're looking for. But you see up there on the slide, the homeowner are 12 months in the rearage on a FHA mortgage. Property is owner occupied. Mortgage payments are $2,000 a month. Principal, interest, taxes, insurance. Property is in fair condition. FHA fair market value appraiser is $220,000. One lien on the property. HOA dues, $2,500 in the rearage. Principal and interest, $1,500 a month. Homeowners less than 30 days from a foreclosure. Homeowners are motivated to sell. Loan balance is $250,000. Net sale proceeds, 84% of the as-is appraisal value. You did your ARV is $275,000. Can you help that homeowner? ARV is what? $275,000. Can you help the homeowner? You know, because everybody's situation is different, what they're looking for. Okay? Is that something that you want? Is it worth it?
I wouldn't do it.
Marvin said he wouldn't do it.
I'm a flipper. I'm not
Okay.
buying a hole.
Okay.
Not at that kind of price.
You make some money. You can make it around 20.
1% rule, yeah.
I hear a lot of mumbling. What? Come on, talk to me.
Could you set up creative terms to where you lease option it out to somebody else, make $300 a month?
You gonna pay out? He's 12 months in the rearage. You gonna pay all that back? Okay, you can't do it. Now that's you brought up a good point. Say on this situation you pay all the rearage. You pay out. You bring everything current. You in a high risk situation. You know why? What if he go file bankruptcy? What if he go file bankruptcy and you can put all your money out there? You did subject to. You did a subject to. You had made all his back payments out. And he went and filed bankruptcy and said, hey man, I don't want to do it. You're in a vulnerable situation. You definitely wouldn't do that.
What about taking it and putting it into like a no buyer type situation?
That's not gonna work. Okay, because we 18 plus $1,000 on just on the mortgage. I'm talking about just the mortgage now. I ain't talking about nothing else.
How much does he owe on the mortgage?
Yeah, we can't see it.
$250,000 loan on the property. Okay, let me help you out a little bit. Let me help you out. I didn't hear you.
You have to pay the $250 for you to buy the property, or me, whatever. $250,000 to clear the loan. And then what we have to do with the 12 month, the 24,000.
Okay, let me help you out. Let me help you out. Okay. First thing we got to do, we got to postpone the foreclosure. We got to work on that first. Okay, number 2, we got a FHA loan. Okay, so if we stop the foreclosure, what did I say in the slide? You got to write a contract immediately. Okay, because if you don't, you got 10 other people lined up to buy the property. That's first thing. You buying the property based on the fair market value of $220,000. You don't even have to worry about the $250,000. That's not your worry. Okay, just worry about $220,000. So 84% of $220,000 is what? What is 180? Okay, 187. So if you bought the house at 187, is it a good buy? And it's worth $275. Okay, it's a good buy, y'all. Now, I didn't trick you. This is the real deal. This is what I run. This is what you're facing with out here. This is what you're going to be faced with. You got to hit that calculator, and once you hit that calculator, this is the unknown. This is the unknown. This is the unknown in this situation. You don't know what the fair market value is when you write the contract. If they don't have that appraisal on file, you don't know what that fair market value is. When you send your contract in, they're going to go out and do the appraisal. Now, based on that fair market value, because you can get that information, you can do an amendment to your sales contract. Bring it up, down. Well, if it's too low, they're going to tell you got to bring it up anyway, as far as the price.
So this person potentially has all of us in this room out their door saying, I'll pay you this, I'll pay you that, I'll pay you this.
And they get very confused. They get totally confused. So you got to try to get there and beat everybody first. Because if you don't, they get confused and you get somebody say, man, I'm gonna bring cash, I'm gonna make you bring everything current. That's high risk.
Just about every house I buy has a stack that big of people saying, I'll buy your house.
Yeah.
Well, and promising all these other things
Yeah.
that they probably
Yeah.
can't.
They just ignore it.
So you got to be very, very careful. I like looking or trying to focus on off-market deals. I don't like the MLS to buy. I definitely don't like going down to the courthouse step to buy. Because you got investors down there driving the prices up. And if they're going to drive some of these, the prices that they're paying, I would definitely be buying this. Because you got too many investors driving that price astronomically over and above. I got a website now. I see what the houses are being sold at the courthouse steps. And I see what the mortgage company owes. You'd be surprised. Sometimes the investors buying the house over what is owed on the property. Because they ain't got in a bidding war down there. But the mortgage company not going to tell you that. They're not.
Where are you finding this stuff? You're watching the papers when it's already.
I can't tell you that. No, I got.
We call you. You find it.
I got various websites. I belong to various organizations that got data, and the data that they have, it's not disclosed to the public. I'll put it that way. It's not disclosed that much. So I get to look at it. Okay.
How do the rest of us find this stuff?
You got to call me.
Okay.
No, but huh? Yeah. It's ways you can do it, but I just have inside data that I look at. Now I don't, sometimes I do be up at night looking at data. Yeah, but I've been doing it a long time. Now another thing, I haven't put this out. I'm focusing on this for next year more than this year, because I'm doing some transitionings with real estate companies and things. It's gonna work out better for me going forward. I can do foreclosures across the United States next year. I work with a company. They are unbelievable, and I'm not exaggerating what I'm saying. This is the first company I ever worked with that we don't do emailing. I don't like to text and all that. That's not me. They call me, we talk. They tell me what they're working on. I tell them what I'm working on. They're telling me this and that. So it's working out real well. So hopefully going forward, the relationship is going to grow, that I'm going to be able to help more people, because I don't think in reference to foreclosures, we're going to be nowhere near 2008, 10. It's not going to go that far. But they're going to be out there though, because some people you just can't help. They don't want to be helped. You know, I mean, people got various reasons. I mean, I don't know what the reason until I talk to you.
They think you're trying to rob them or.
Well, no, everybody. See, when you use that word helping people, everybody's not motivated to make money. You'll be surprised some of the amazing, simplest things people need help. And that's why I ask, what type of help do you need? Some people say, I just need to stay here 6 more months. I just need about $5,000 and stay here 6 more months, and then I'll be all right. I can move out. You can buy the house. If you're just trying to bumble, hey, I got $10,000, you need to be out in 30 days. Yeah, that's not going to work. Anybody have any questions? No questions?
Let me touch with you.
Oh,
I'll text you.
Where do you live at?
Give me a dollar. Give me a dollar.
my cell phone number is 757-288-7298. 757-288-7298. Huh?
Your full name, please.
My name is Bennie Miller, like Benny and the Jets. Bennie. With the I-E. Now, what I just presented to you, I'm not trying to make you no expert of what this is about. Okay, that's number one. I'm just letting you know, if you want to help people and you run into people like this, and if you don't feel comfortable doing this, call me. Just call me. That's all you got to do. Now, I would tell agents this. I'm going to tell you agents this up front. If you want me to get involved with your transaction, sometimes I will tear your transaction down and start all over again. Because I can tell you, sometimes your transaction is not going in the right direction. Okay? It's just not going in the right direction. And this is one thing that really irks me by agents when they call me. Have the short sale been approved? Right there, it's tell me that you don't know the process when you say that. Not a lot of these short sales, you cannot have approval on them until you get a sales contract. You got to have a contract. So don't ask me, have it been approved? You know, because if you that non-professional, I'm not gonna deal with you, because once I get involved in these transactions, it's fast moving. I don't have time to babysit you if you're not gonna do what I ask you to do. And that goes for the homeowner too. If they're not gonna do what I ask them to do, I'm gonna leave it alone, because it's a fast moving process. If I say I need this, Mr. and Mrs. Homeowner, that's what I need. If my third party calls you and say, hey, we gotta have this, we gotta do this, yada, 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 I need it. I'm gonna get to your question. Bankruptcies, I didn't say this. Most people in bankruptcy, once they file that bankruptcy and get that relief or stay from bankruptcy, they thinking that the mortgage company is going to call them to take the keys. I just put the house up there last month, knocked on the homeowner's door. I said, hey, you know your house in foreclosure? Oh, I'm just waiting for the mortgage company to call me to get the keys. I filed a bankruptcy. So I said, sir, they don't come get no keys. They gonna foreclose on the house. He said, well, what I gotta do? I said, you gotta put the house up for sale and we gotta sell it. I gotta get the contract to the mortgage company. You got to go do all your paperwork and then we can help you. Okay, well, come on in and put it up for sale. I said, well, did the attorney tell you that? No, the attorney ain't told me nothing.
They didn't tell him anything. They don't have any money.
I said, man, what are these attorneys doing out here? Okay, what question do you have, sir? Did you have a question? No, I thought you.
Benny, what's your number?
I'm gonna get it.
When you were saying about needing to put an amendment in the contract to bring it up to fair market value or something?
No. Say once you write your contract, you write a sales contract. The house worth, I said 275. You wrote a contract for 180. The fair market value is 220. So they have to net 84%, 86%, or 88% of 220. Is your sales contract going to fall within those parameters? If it don't, you're going to have to do an amendment to the sales contract. You got to do an adjustment. Now, if you're paying more than the fair market value, you can bring the price down. What they going to do? Tell you no? That's all they can tell you.
To amend the contract to reflect the fair market value.
To reflect
86% of the fair market value.
88, 86, and 84. Yes, sir.
So if the balance was 250, right?
Yes, sir.
How do we explain the homeowner, hey, I want to buy it for 180, 185, whatever? Because he's gonna think, hey, you gotta pay the money. So
You got
how do I explain the homeowner, hey, I buy your house but for 185 when his balance is 250?
You don't worry about 250.
But how do you explain it to the homeowner?
That's all they're doing.
Why are you going to try to explain it to the homeowner?
I'm not buying the house from him.
They don't know. You got to talk to them in an educational way. But at the same time, you don't go over there and overload yourself with information because they don't understand it. They're not going to understand it. That's just the facts of the situation. Most of them not going to understand it. Okay? So you don't have to go in there and say, hey, man, you know your house, you owe 250 on it, but I'm going to buy it for 180. That's not solving his problem. You focus on the problem of helping him, not that spread, the 180 to 250. That's the mortgage company's responsibility, okay? Not yours. And they will give him all the language that he needs in a written format, okay? Where he can, I can tell you, they don't even read that.
But he's not gonna get any of that money. The bank's gonna get the money.
Yeah, he don't get the money.
But first thing you say, we go there and we start the foreclosure, right?
Right.
And then before anybody else walks in and says, hey, I can pay you more and give you all this money.
You already got it under contract.
But that contract, how do I explain it to the homeowner? Hey, I want to buy it, but he needs to see the price, though, no? He wants to know that he's
You go in there and focus on helping him with his situation. He's going to help him save his house from a foreclosure. If it's FHA, he's going to get relocation assistance from the mortgage company. He won't have a negative balance on his credit report in reference to a deficiency balance. That's what you focus on. You don't have to focus on that. What do you?
So he's gonna say, you mean I ain't getting no money?
See, hold on. I see what you're saying. That's why you bring me in. That's why you bring me in on the professional side. Don't you go in there trying to say all of that because you can get tangled up. And they just, like you said, you probably won't even make it out the house for somebody else coming in there. See.
Okay, then, so I
Just
have
call
a
me.
situation like that, I'm gonna bring it to you because I'm not educated enough on it.
Right. Let's just
Right.
bring it to me.
Okay, and then what's your cut, and what's my cut? That's what we're trying to find out.
Okay. What's my cut? What's my cut? What is my cut? This is my cut, y'all. This is my cut. Out of all these transactions I do that I'm doing now, the government pays me.
Oh, Dad's
You don't pay me. The government pays me. It's in the contract. The commissions are they built into the transactions from the United States government.
Is this the short sale only?
The short sales.
The short sale.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it's a
yeah,
short sale situation.
yeah. I do very well because I do both sides of the transaction. Okay.
So if a realtor tries to tell you, hey, you know, you got
I don't get involved with all that, what y'all do with these other agents and things. I just do what I do within the guidelines, what I do. Okay? Okay. Anybody have any other questions? Yes, ma'am.
So you only work with short sales where you get paid by the government?
I work with a lot of distressed homeowners, but I do other things. I do commercial stuff too.
Okay, that was my next question.
Yeah, I do commercial stuff.
You work with commercial properties?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just to get, so if I find someone who has a conventional loan that's not through like FHA or anything like that.
Yeah.
Do you get a fee from that where we would have to discuss something or?
What you mean get a fee? What kind of transaction is it? Is it something you trying to purchase?
Okay, so if it's like I find a foreclosure.
You find a foreclosure, commercial foreclosure. This restaurant going into foreclosure. That's
If it's a regular house, like
regular houses are commercial. I still paid by the entity. You don't pay me.
Okay.
Okay.
So
You don't have
I
to.
get it on the contract.
Yeah.
And I find a buyer.
No, you just call me first. Okay, because now what I'm trying to say is I don't want to have to try to untangle some things, you know, because once you start telling people certain things, they hold you to it.
Right.
And you'll be amazed some of the most simplest things you can say, you have to untangle it. So before you get too far into it, I need to have a good understanding of the overall situation. Then I can tell you what I recommend that you should do. You know, then, you know, if you're dealing with commercial entities, foreclosure, more than likely, those sellers are very savvy than the regular homeowner. So don't get yourself tangled up in something that got to be untangled.
So you can get it under contract, but don't go.
No, you let me write the contract. Don't you even do that.
To make a short sale offer, you must have an agent.
Yeah, you got to, yeah. Don't y'all try to write these contracts because you're not.
And Bennie is the agent.
The government, the mortgage company's not going to take your contract. It's going to take my contract. Okay.
Benny's.
Yeah, Benny's contract.
Is that a VAR form, Benny's contract?
Yeah.
So you talked about like if we came across something like this and we wanted to get involved, call you. What if we're not coming across this? I just want to say, hey Benny, you got any of these you want to swing my way?
Call me.
Okay.
Okay. Call me. Because I can have nothing today and have two tomorrow.
He might have your number blocked. You're an attorney.
Well,
You don't have all the money. Do you take any apprenticeship? Do you do apprenticeship?
not really, but I'll talk to you. Anybody have any other questions? I'll talk to you.
So in other words, if I'm talking this to do my due diligence, I say, okay, I got it. I'm gonna bring it to you before I do anything.
Just call me.
Call you.
Yeah.
And
Hey.
and then let you do it.
Hold.
Hey, guys.
Thank y'all. I appreciate it. Hey, hopefully y'all sign the sheet. There's a sheet floating around. Sign that, because if you call me, I kind of want to have an idea of who you are. I really appreciate it. If anybody got any other questions, I'll be here for a couple minutes.
Hey, one more
Yes,
thing. Thanks for coming. And real quick, Benny, before you get, let me grab this from you. Thanks for coming. And I'd like to just kind of give you a hint of where we're trying to go for next month, to get some information together on creative financing. How many creative financiers we got in here? Who's done deals with creative financing? All right, so we got it. Yeah, that's all I do. I like to hear that. I got one here I know about. Got one there. So I seen some of you guys. Janie they're all over the place. So if I can get some stuff together on creative finance and I'll put it out, I get a couple people that have done 3 or 4 or 5 deals to come in here. Let's have 2 good meetings on creative finance. How to buy them creatively, and then what? How to sell them creatively, right? All right. Thanks for coming. We'll see you guys. See you next month.
See you later, man. Good
All
to
right.
see
Hey,
you.
nice seeing you.
You
Thanks
too.
for coming.
Yeah, I'll see you next
Where you been?
Me?
Yeah.